Guys. Oh, I'm parched. Bear with me a moment, please.
I wonder why. I wonder why you're parched.
So, as I mentioned last week, yeah, this is the first Sunday. We record on Sundays. We drop the episode on Tuesday. This is the first podcast episode where, you know, we're in the month of Ramadan, yeah? So we fast throughout the day. The time is now 9:20.
PM.
9:20 p.m. Started eating and drinking again. We resumed eating and drinking again an hour and 20 minutes ago, thereabouts. Yeah? About 8 o'clock at night. And personally, I find it very, very easy. Mentally strong, me, when I know I have to be, and I'm mentally weak when I don't need to be strong. Does that make sense? So I believe I've got very weak, like I've got very poor discipline. When food is around me, I need to eat it. Yeah? But if I know I can't eat it because I'm fasting, I don't even get hungry. I genuinely don't get hungry. A lot of people are like, oh, don't you find it difficult? You can't even drink water. You know the bait one. Not even water. Not even water. But there's some hacks I've got for you guys, innit? So whoever is observing these fasts or observing the month of Ramadan, I've got a couple of hacks for you. And for those of you that don't know too much about it, as a Muslim, we refrain from eating, drinking, and various other things. But physically, eating and drinking from sunrise, so generally about 4:45 in the morning, to sunset. So at the moment, that's about 8:03 to be precise today. Yeah, over, you know, it's about 21 hours or something like that. 20 hours. It doesn't matter, neither here nor there. Yeah, it's about 21 hours. And a lot of people find it flabbergasting. How do you do it? How is it like? Isn't that fair? That's not fair. Why you got to do that? That's not good for your body. Now, let me tell you a few things. It's all about preparation. It is all about preparation. So hydration, because if anything, I might not get hungry, but I do get thirsty at times, innit? Bear in mind, I wake up in the morning and I train generally in the morning or in the afternoon. So I still got the rest of the day without any water, but I've stayed hydrated. This is my 1.5 litre bottle of water. I've already had another 1.5 before this at home, and I will have another 2 probably of these, all right? It can be tap water. It doesn't have to be this bottle. Hack for you guys, yeah? Add sea salt to your water. Obviously, it doesn't taste pleasant, so dilute it. We'll put some squash in there or something like that. And you will have essentially like an electrolyte replenishing juice or drink, which keeps you hydrated for much, much longer. Like I said, I train while I'm fasting, and I have still about 10 hours until I eat or drink, okay? So sea salt, crack some of that in if you get it in a bottle, you know, do that thing to it, and or in a teaspoon and pour it into the bottle. I've got my protein bottle, so that's calm. But there are so many benefits to fasting, so many benefits. People say, why do you fast? We've just been told to. We have been told to do so. This is what we believe as Muslims. We've been told to do so, and we hear and obey, right? So, but there's always, like, I can't say, oh, it's so that we can feel, the suffering of the needy. But we do feel the suffering of the needy. Doesn't mean, that's not why we do it. It's not because it teaches you discipline, but it does teach you discipline. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm trying to say? These are what they're called? They're like byproducts, if you like, right? And yes, 100% it's a very cleansing month, both physically and for me, spiritually, right? Physically, though, I'll talk you through some benefits, right? When you're not eating throughout the day, your body is no longer expending energy on digestion. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if you're not digesting food, you're not using your body. It costs your body energy to digest food. When it's not doing that, it's focusing on cell repair. Yeah. Injuries, little pain here and there, little scratches, cuts, everything. Your body now focuses on that. The white blood cells get to work, and they work with less fatigue, and they don't need to worry about, oh, you got to digest. You're going to feel, you're going to have less energy to do other things. You can really tired, focus on that. Yeah. So that's really good. It improves mental focus, no doubt. It can, check this out. Yeah. I did a little bit of research, but it can prevent neurodegenerative diseases. Okay. So anything relating to the brain, it helps repair your brain. Imagine that. Repair your brain and prolong its health. Okay. Anti-aging, I'm not talking about your skin. I'm talking about it delays the effects of aging. So as you get older, again, Alzheimer's, for example, or a whole bunch of other things. It doesn't look like that's going to be very loud, man. Sorry, just looking at the sound waves. I'll come a bit closer. But yeah, generally speaking, there's so many benefits. Your blood sugar levels get regulated and improved. Your blood pressure gets regulated and improved. Obviously, if you are like myself trying to shed some of that weight, you're only having one meal. But that meal can be as much or as little as you want. Okay, so far I have not eaten anything. I've had my water. I've had the 1.5 liters I had before that had my vitamins in there. So it's vitamin water. I had a strong coffee because I'm going to be up late editing. Yeah. And I'm having this water again now. So far, just hydration, no food. I'm not hungry, but I am excited for the dessert review, right? I'm excited to eat. So you can dictate how much you want or you don't want. And if you could, sorry.
I was going to ask you. Sorry, you're going to continue. I was going to ask you a question.
One point I want to mention.
Yeah, go on.
No, ask the question.
Oh, it's gonna relate to training, basically.
Okay.
A lot of people, for example, people who don't know anything about fasting or how it can affect your body in a positive way, always ask me or say to me, "I'm going to lose gains. It's going to affect me in the gym. I'm going to lose muscle mass." Tell them about sort of what you know,
all right,
and what it does for your body.
Let me just cover my
no
last
doubtly, it can affect you.
It does affect you, but it can be better or worse. It depends on how you view it and how you tackle it. Okay, I'm going to mention one more point quickly because it kind of ties in.
Yeah.
Another benefit of fasting. So I mentioned the benefits of weight loss with fasting. Now let's look at the other one. So if you're trying to not weight gain, but if you're trying to gain muscle, your body can increase GH secretion. Okay, GH is the growth hormone, naturally produced human growth hormone. Yeah. So if you're now trying to gain muscle, trying to maintain that muscle mass, fasting with an eating window can increase your GH secretion. Okay, so how your body produces it and essentially just secretes it. Yeah, I don't know another word for that. Like gives it out, gives it off, delivers it. You get me? So if you're trying to get wham, as long as you're eating your calorie allowance, so let's just say you want a surplus, as long as you're eating your maintenance plus 20% or whatever, you're absolutely fine. Maintenance is how much you need to just stay as you are throughout the day. If you eat right in that window, you have no issues. Okay? Training can be any time of the day, really. But for some people, nah, I've got to get in my training whilst I've just eaten. Otherwise, I'm going to be catabolic. That's not necessarily true. But you can say, khalas, all right, cool, no worries. I've just eaten my nighttime, so suhoor, which is your nighttime meal, your morning meal. So just before we start fasting, okay, you can have your meal. And it can be as big or small as you want. Let's just say after that you have a couple of hours sleep, as you would wait before you train anyway. Then you train. But make sure you have a big protein heavy meal if that's what you're after. Or just a big meal to fuel your days, to avoid hunger if you're not training, if you just want to remain not so hungry.
I was going to say as well, like, remember the GSP podcast he did with Joe Rogan? I don't know if you remember. He speaks about intermittent fasting.
Yeah, intermittent fasting.
A lot of athletes now use intermittent fasting. Obviously, it's not the same because you can still drink water, etc. in between. But the whole aspect of the fast itself builds discipline, and it's very, very good, especially for combat athletes who are trying to cut weight or make specific weight limits. For them, it's essentially a limited window of eating. Instead of having your meals spread out throughout the day, I'm not eating during this time and this time. So it makes it a little easier for you to know exactly what you're going to have and how much you're going to have. It's, because during the day, for example, if you have a snack here, snack there, a banana here, a couple shakes here, sometimes you can, unless you're not noting it down, you lose track. Whereas if you're having 2 meals throughout 24 hours, you should, all in all, really know exactly what your body's consuming.
It's just about preparation. You get me? It's just about preparation. I did want to add though, so training, you can train the optimum times to train. I can't even talk. Optimum times to train during the fasting window are straight after you've eaten. So once you've just started fasting, 2 hours later, so to allow for digestion, or just before you eat, just before you open the fast again. So before you break the fast and resume your eating window or enter your eating window, train. And you can train as hard as you want. For me, I prefer to train in the morning because I still have energy. At night, yes, you just feel a little bit more lethargic, and it does catch up. After 20 or 19 hours of fasting, it catches up.
Me personally, so So because my timetable is different now,
Yeah.
because of all sorts of different reasons, obviously we train earlier now.
Yeah.
Than
How have you found that?
just as fine. Because beforehand, anyway, when I was doing intermittent fasting,
Mm-hmm.
before when I was in better shape than I am now, I would train empty stomach anyway, first thing as soon as I get up.
Precisely.
The other time I would train is, again, like Mal said, just before I eat, just before I open my fast. I find that just as easy or just as good, essentially, because I know after this session, it's a mental thing more so than a physical thing. But I know I am going home or going out to eat wherever to replenish the body.
Yep.
So I will put myself through that grueling, tough session, knowing that as soon as I am done, I'm having a date, I'm having a shake, and then I can eat whatever I want, kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I preferred that, but obviously, depending, most gyms are busy that time anyway. So
to find what works for you as well. Do you know what I mean? Gyms are pretty damn quiet now since lockdown's been restricted. The gyms
a session is better than no session.
Absolutely, and just to find out what works for you. And to be honest, there's no right or wrong. As long as there's no right or wrong with the training part, as long as you are staying fueled. So in that window, you have to make sure you eat enough. A lot of people. So for me, it's not difficult to eat to meet my requirements, my eating requirements, because I like eating. Some people might find that difficult. That's different. Then I would say that's when you start to use mass gainers and meal replacements, because you need to consume those calories in order. You have to have them.
Because it's a good point you mentioned, because I know a lot of people who in the morning for sahur time they don't like eating.
Yeah,
People
I don't
can't
eat that time, but I have a huge meal when I break my fast.
Yeah.
I have a huge meal. Again, it's very salad and meat heavy. I'm tailoring what I eat. So it's a massive 4-person salad, which is just actual vegetables, and then a little bit, and then some meat. So I'm getting my protein. But I'm avoiding carbs for every day except for today. So yeah, I find it very easy, but it just depends. Some people don't like eating. I don't have that problem, so I can't really help you. But a mass gainer, a meal replacement. So no, have your food, then you can just sip a meal replacement throughout the day or throughout the night, once or twice even, to meet your calories. You know your calories or your macro intake better than I do. You just know, just hit the targets. As simple as that. Anyway, please, without further ado.
Brilliant. Just before we start though, we are the Sweet Science Media. This is the Sweet Science Podcast. Make sure you do subscribe, hit the big red button, comment, like, and share it.
Like it,
share it.
I hope that bro science, little 15-minute segment was useful. It really is. Let us know how you found it. Give it a go. Try and implement some of these things and just understand it a bit more. For those of you who are fasting, again, for those of you who don't, I hope that kind of allowed you to understand a little bit more. It's not, oh, you can't drink water. How do you feel? That's not fair. Well, it's very fair. I'm absolutely fine. I don't know if you are not, if you're physically unfit to fast, then you don't need to fast. Do you get me? There is an alternative for people who it will damage if they do fast, or who will feel further sick or further ill if they do fast. Yep. Okay, both my parents are unwell; they do not fast. Do you get me? There are people that I know physically fit, but they are exempt from fasting because they, for example, diabetics, because you need to maintain your sugar levels, right? So you cannot fast. They don't need to fast. But for those who are physically able to, they do it. And very few people complain. A lot of people are like, oh, I'm so hungry. Mentally, we're used to eating in the morning, used to eating in the afternoon and having another meal. Again, it's just once you tell yourself you can't eat, for most people, it's quite easy. Some people, obviously, they do struggle. Everybody's got a different, my struggle is waking up in the morning in the first, waking up at 4:30, at all to drink and do my little nightly routine. You get me? Mm-hmm. What are you saying? No,
I was just going to say, literally, if you did enjoy it and you want to hear more, don't forget, we're not just foodies or dessert destroyers, especially Mouse anyway. He's got a lot of experience and knowledge in this kind of field. So if there's any specific questions you want to ask, hit us in the DMs on the Instagram at the Sweet Science Media, or drop a comment down below.
Thanks for that. I don't like to propagate, I know this and I know that, because I don't claim to, but I'm about to claim that I do.
Anyone who knows you personally knows that you do, but we just don't talk about it much on the pod because it's just either dessert or we're talking about people punching or caving each other's
heads. And because I'm really good at telling people what to do, but sometimes I'm not as good as implementing that on myself or enforcing it on myself. That's the thing. Anyway, guys, without further ado, please. That's my asthma. Asthma, again, from these allergies. When I take this, I feel calm. Hay fever induced asthma. Yes. Anyway, or allergy-induced asthma to be precise. Guys, I'm becoming more and more organized with this, right? We've got a timetable of who we're ordering, or a schedule of what we're ordering and from whom next each week. So we've already ordered next week's dessert.
We've got months in advance now. He's
Boy,
done a
we've
madness.
got so
He's
much,
done a
but it's
madness.
because I go through Instagram and I'm just like, I cannot not get these. I will lose them. Let me note them down.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay?
We learned
So-
from our lessons.
Absolutely. So I've got this. The camera, the mic drops when it's not leaning on this box, right?
Huh?
So hold that for a second, please. So this is Bees Cookie Club.